So we're going to start meditating on the rainbow. So please, those which have good recollection of rainbow that you have seen in the past, so you just imagine or recollect a beautiful rainbow in your mind. And those which haven't seen a rainbow in a long time, you can look at the picture for a little while and then imagine a rainbow. So you create a mental image with your mind. You create a rainbow in your mind and you look at it. So you develop calm abiding on the rainbow. So calm abiding, you create a mental image and then you try to establish a continuity of not forgetting that object. So you keep it in mind 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. So you establish a continuity of not forgetting that object. And if your mind wanders off, as soon as you become aware of it, you bring it back. And then as you recollect this rainbow, imagine you are with a friend walking the countryside or driving, and then you see the rainbow and you point to your friend, oh look there, a rainbow. And the rainbow appears to exist from his own side there in the sky. It is there, you can see, you can point in the direction of the rainbow and your friend sees it too. So the rainbow is there in the sky from his own side. And it's beautiful, you can see the 6, 7 color very distinctively and how they pass from one to the other. Very beautiful. So if you don't analyze, the rainbow is there in the sky. But if someone is a mile away and look at the same spot, there's no rainbow there. The rainbow only appears at the spot where you are in the sky there. Why? Because in fact there's no rainbow there at all. There's only droplets of water that the rays of the sun touch and create this prism kind of appearance. So depending on the angle of the light rays and the drop, it creates these various colors. but there's no rainbow there. If you would go where the rainbow actually is, there's no rainbow there. The rainbow can only be perceived from the spot where I am, because the light touches these droplets of water, and certain photons are absorbed into the drop of water, and certain are reflected. And this reflected photon create this appearance of this light color. So from one side there's a rainbow there in the sky. You can point to it. But if you analyze, there it is empty of being a rainbow from his own side. None of the droplet of water is a rainbow. The sun is not a rainbow. And the collection of all these parts are just a collection of all these parts. There's no rainbow there from his own side. Yet, relatively, as long as the cause and condition come together, the rays of the sun, the droplets of water, and the position I am, compared to those phenomena, magically a rainbow will appear. So the rainbow that appears is dependent arising upon the sun, the droplet of water, and the position I am. Then the rainbow phenomena appear. So if we don't analyze, there's a rainbow there from his own side. And that's how we see all phenomena. Our mistaken apprehension sees everything as there, like the rainbow. Yet if you look for the rainbow in its parts, you cannot find. In that case, you just find droplets of water and the position of the sun and where you are. Nowhere is a rainbow to be found. Yet relatively, on the rays of the sun, the droplets of water, you can merely label a rainbow. So the rainbow has three ways of appearing to your mental consciousness. You can either see it as existing there inherently in the sky. If you don't analyze, there's a rainbow there, and it appears to exist from his own side. But if you analyze and say, where is actually the rainbow? Then you only find droplets of water. There's actually no rainbow there. If you go there, you would only find droplets of water. So, from an ultimate point of view, there's no rainbow there. Wherever the rainbow appears, there's no rainbow there. But relatively or conventionally, as long as these three things come together, the rays of the sun, the droplet of water, and your position, the rainbow will appear without any choice. So please play with these three ways of the rainbow can appear to you. Innately, you drive in your car, somebody points to you, oh, there's a rainbow there, and it appears to be there in the sky. So that's one way the rainbow can appear to you. Then number two, you say, but where precisely is the rainbow? And you only find droplets of water. There's no rainbow there. To your mind, there's no rainbow there. Because in fact there's no rainbow there. If you would travel there where the rainbow appeared to you, there's no rainbow there. Or if a cloud would pass in front of the sun, suddenly where the rainbow was, there's no more rainbow. So while the rainbow is appearing, with your mind's eye, you try to see only droplets of water, rain or whatever. So that would be the ultimate nature of the rainbow. That if you come close enough, there's only droplets of water, there's no rainbow there. Yet relatively, conventionally, when the sun touches rainbow droplets of water and you are in a certain position compared to it, the appearance of a rainbow happens. Even though there's no rainbow there physically, due to the dependent arising of the droplets of water, the sun and your position, there's the magical appearance of a rainbow. So there's three ways that you can turn your mind. You can make your mind see the rainbow in the sky. You can make your mind see only droplets of water. Or you can make your mind see the dependent arising of the sun, the droplets of water, your position that creates the appearance of a rainbow even though there's no rainbow there. So try to see whether you can create these three ways of looking at the rainbow. So for 5 minutes, try to play with that. Now, when you look at the rainbow that is there, your friend points out at the rainbow there from his own side. Then emotion can have, wow, I never saw such a beautiful rainbow. How fantastic. Wow, we're so lucky, you know. Something good must have happened, some good karma has ripened or whatnot. You know, you have all these emotion and projection can happen. The rainbow is there, you are there. Obviously, when you see the rainbow as not being there, all these emotions cannot happen. Right? When you see just droplet water, there's no rainbow there. All these emotions that can arise by seeing the rainbow there from his own side won't happen. So your heart is at peace, is not agitated. And when you see the rainbow as dependent rising, just the sun, rays of the sun touching droplets of water, and my position creates a rainbow. So it's relatively beautiful, but you don't have this great flare-up of emotion that you have as you have with the first appearance of the rainbow from his own side. So try to realize that, to understand that the mental affliction that the emotions are stronger when you see things existing from their own side. When the rainbow exists from his own side, strong joy, strong enthusiasm. Strong fantasy can arise. Remember maybe as a kid, you know, the fantasy you had about the rainbows. And then people project, oh, it must be auspicious, you know, very auspicious, see a rainbow. Something good's gonna happen, even though you're stuck in a traffic jam. So we have all this projection or rainbow. Yet in reality, ultimately, there's no rainbow there at all. And it's not that there once was a rainbow, and then because now you look from the perspective of droplets of water, you don't see the rainbow anymore. There has never been a rainbow there in the first place. It has never been a rainbow there from its own side. It's not like now you realize emptiness and you make the rainbow disappear. The rainbow never was there. We were hallucinating, seeing a rainbow there. And because of this hallucination, all these emotions were possible. That's the most beautiful rainbow that ever existed. Something amazing is gonna happen to me because I saw a rainbow. So all this projection happened because we believed there's a rainbow there. But in reality, there's never been a rainbow. So when we see the rainbow there from his own side, all these emotions, strong emotion, can arise, and because of that we create karma. The intention, the attraction, aversion, the fantasies based on this real self-existent rainbow that in reality doesn't exist. All this fantasy create the hallucination of samsara, because it's based on a hallucination that has never existed. We hallucinate a rainbow, then we hallucinate attraction, aversion, love, hate, and the whole thing. And then we act upon this fantasy through our thought, through our words, and through our deeds. We live in a complete fantasy. Like we say in the West, we chase a rainbow. It's exactly that. We chase a rainbow. We chase a total fantasy. So when you don't see the rainbow, when you see the emptiness of the rainbow, what's happening to your mind? So all those thoughts, attraction, aversion, how beautiful, all these things that gonna happen to me because I just saw a rainbow, all this fantasy or mental elaboration cannot happen. It can only happen if you see the rainbow there. When you don't see the rainbow there, all this elaboration of the mind don't happen. So what state of mind is that? A state of mind with no elaboration. So there is peace, there's equanimity, and if we would have certain level of calm abiding, there would be bliss. At the moment there is no bliss because our mind is not stable. Even though we focus on space, on emptiness, because our mind is not stable, there's not much bliss there. But in emptiness, you see, there's not all this elaboration of liking, disliking, most beautiful, this and that's gonna happen because I saw a rainbow. All this elaboration of the ego based on the rainbow there, all this cannot happen if you don't see a rainbow. So in emptiness, all this mental elaboration don't happen. And then in the third way, when you see the rainbow as dependent arising, dependence on the sun position, the droplets of water, a new position, there's the appearance of a rainbow. So here is tricky, because of the habit of seeing the rainbow as inherently existent. If you're not careful, even though you know it's dependent arising, you still see it as there. So you have to keep the realization or the insight of no rainbow there. So there's only the position of the sun, the droplets of water, a new position that creates the appearance of a rainbow, even though there's no rainbow there. There's only individual droplets of water, and each reflects another angle of the sun. There's no rainbow, but it appears like a rainbow. So on something that is not a rainbow, on a collection of droplets of water, we merely label, we merely impute rainbow on something that is not a rainbow. Collection of droplets of water. So the third level, dependent arising, is actually a mixing of the second. You see, you have to have the realization that there's no rainbow there. So relatively, it appears as a rainbow, even though there's no rainbow. Try to see that. So now you check what kind of emotion can arise when you see the rainbow as merely labeled, as merely designation, as merely designated a collection of drops. You see again, this strong flare-up of emotion cannot happen when you see things as dependent arising. Yet, you can say, oh, this rainbow is more beautiful than the rainbow I saw last week. You see, you can compare it to other relative phenomena. You can distinguish. Okay? So it has a relative reality. But it cannot produce this great flare-up of emotion that when you saw the rainbow as self-existent. So when one says to see all phenomena like a rainbow, one means this third level, right? To realize that the rainbow, there's no rainbow there. There's only the sun, the droplets of water and my position, and it creates the appearance of a rainbow there, even though there's no rainbow there. So that's the example of rainbow. The union of emptiness and dependent arising. So now with your mind's eye, try to see this room as a rainbow room, people as rainbow bodies, yourself as a rainbow body, your eye as a rainbow eye, your thoughts as rainbow thoughts, and so forth. So if you imagine somebody being a rainbow, imagine there's the sun, there's the light rays, droplets of water, and my position creates this rainbow body, right? So everything is dependent arising like that. So first you use the example of the rainbow to make you understand that even though phenomena appear to exist there from the onside, actually, like a rainbow, they cannot be found. So you can start with your ego, for example. The ego, the thinker, appears to be there somewhere in our head, or in our body, or around our head. It appears to be there like a rainbow. You can point your finger in your head somewhere, and there's this thinker, this commentator of the meditation. It appears to be there. But if you look more precisely, the ego you cannot find, the thinker you cannot find. You only find the body and mind. Don't find the thinker. Yet the person on the collection of body and mind can be called me, which is a valid label on a body and mind person. Then one's body is like a rainbow. If you don't analyze, the body sitting here on the cushion. And then all these thoughts arise: beautiful body, ugly body, sick body, healthy body, I like it, I don't like it. All these emotions arise regarding to the body existing from his own side. Yet if you look for the body with your mind's eye, within its parts, or a collection of parts, or separate, the body as it appears to your mind from his own side, that body stop appearing to your mind's eye. There's a space of non-finding that body. And then all your emotion, beautiful body, ugly body, I like it, I don't like it, all these emotions disappear. Yet there's an appearance of a body, dependence on cause and condition, parts and mental labeling. Where there is no body in reality, there's a merely labeled body. And relatively, compared to another person, you can say it's fatter or thinner. And relatively, you can say it's more beautiful or less, compared to a certain mind-made concept of what's beautiful, which doesn't exist anywhere from his own side. So there's a relative reality, then you can put this label, but they are not solid. Like when you see the body exists from his own side and is truly thin and truly fat and so forth. All these emotions don't arise when you see the body as merely label. Then the mind too is a very funny phenomena. You see, the mind sometimes appears to be like a mirror. You know, the mind is there from his own side and it reflects thoughts, mental image, emotion. So the mind is stable, it doesn't change. It's what it sees that change. So the mind appears to be permanent, not changing. But there are various thoughts and emotion and mental image that float in front or past in front of the mind. So innately, if you don't really analyze, that's how often the mind appears. If you try to look where this consciousness is that reflects these thoughts, emotion, mental image. First, you cannot speak of a consciousness without an object. See, if there's nothing to be conscious of, you cannot speak of a consciousness. So being conscious depends on an object of being conscious of. And conscious of the previous moment has passed. The consciousness of the next moment is not yet here. So it is only the present moment of consciousness that you experience. Yet that constantly changes, because each moment you become conscious of something else. You can say there's a present moment of consciousness might last a second, but then there's a part that touches the past, a part that touches the future. So you can say that the present moment of consciousness you could split into the past, the part that touched the past, and the past that touched the future. And like that, ad infinitum, the present moment of consciousness, you can split it. So this present moment of consciousness that appears there, you reach a point where there is no present moment of awareness existing from his own side. And you just end up in space of not finding present moment of awareness. And if there's no present moment of awareness, how can you speak of a stream of moments of awareness that are not found? So there's no stream of moment of awareness from his own side. There's no stream of consciousness from his own side. There's no mind at all from his own side. Ultimately, the mind doesn't exist. Shantideva says the emptiness of the mind is what we call nirvana, liberation. then relatively on the various thoughts, emotion being cognized, but what is clear and knowing, this we merely label mind. But if you look where it is precisely, where is this mind? In the subjective awareness, objective, between the two, the stream of moments, in the parts, one doesn't find. So in the not finding of the mind with the mind, there is peace, there is bliss. There is no hope, no fear, no birth, old age, sickness, death. And that mind that sees emptiness of the mind, at the same time can see thoughts, emotion, sense of I, yet know them to be empty. They are just dependent arising, yet at the same time they have no essence. They are empty from existing from their own side. So they don't produce these emotions, this strong up and down, this up and down, attraction, aversion, can only appear in your mind if you believe that the thought, emotion exists really from their own side. If you see them rainbow-like, appearing yet empty, depending, you see, at the beginning maybe 10% of your awareness thinks it's empty and 90% believes it exists, the thought, emotion really exists. Then gradually, as you familiarize your mind, maybe 20% of your mind believe the thought, emotion, I are empty, and 80% believe it's truly there. And then gradually 50-50. 50% believe the thoughts are real, the emotion are real, the I is real, the objects are real from their own side. Then gradually 20% of your mind believe it's real and 80% believe it's not real. So the intensity of your emotion completely subsides, because your understanding that it's not there is stronger than the belief it's there. And when you become Buddha, not a tiny percent believe it's there. 100% believe it's merely label. There's nothing there from his own side at all. Not in meditation and not in post-meditation. So this not there is a state of utter peace, utter bliss, that is unchangeable, unshakable. Within that state, whether happy phenomena arise, unhappy, your mind is completely unmovable, always in bliss and peace, with great clairvoyance as a result of that, great discriminating awareness, seeing what's beneficial, what's harmful. What leads to enlightenment, what leads to suffering. Can see the karma of individual beings, what affliction they have already abandoned, what they still need to abandon, what quality they have developed, what they still need to develop, where the different various spiritual paths leads. So can see the karma of different beings, how long they have the karma to live, where they're going to die, where they're going to take rebirth. Can see very far away with your mind's eye, different planets, different realms. Can hear sound far away. Can manifest emanation in many realms, helping beings. So all this quality will come to us when we realize emptiness, dependent arising. So it's not at all a boring state of mind. At the moment, because we are so addicted to inherent existence and the emotion they produce, we think as emptiness something boring. Yet the day we experience it fully, with calm abiding, all these qualities will arise within our mind, as described in the text we study. So sometimes it's good to imagine yourself having those qualities, what it would be like to see countless past lives, countless future lives. What it would be like to see the karma of each individual being you know, where they are on the spiritual path, what mental affliction they have, what qualities they have. What would be the most appropriate to say to that person for him or her to make progress? And to see all these different realms of existence, these different planets with their living beings. So to imagine these things is very helpful to give you the energy because often there's a certain level of complacence we can have on the spiritual path. Think, oh, I'm doing okay, I practice, But then we water it down with so many other things. And we think it's all right. Yet each time we see things as inherently existent, we make samsara more concrete. We entrapped ourselves deeper. Each second you see things as inherently existent, you create samsara. And you make it going out more difficult because you feed it. You put a new imprint of inherent existence. So more imprint you have of inherent existence, the more difficult it is to release yourself from inherent existence. And each time you see things as empty of inherent existence, you feed you add an imprint to your path to liberation. So the easier it is to become to realize things as they are. So each second we either feed samsara or we feed nirvana. So there's no such thing as a causal moment, a moment where you can relax and indulge in inherent existence. Each moment you do that, you reinforce the prison of samsara. You make it more difficult to get freed. So you can never relax. Yeah, you can physically relax, but mentally you try to get freed from the perception of inherent existence. You see, your partner is a rainbow partner. Your car is a rainbow car. Your food is rainbow food. Your bed is rainbow bed. Your body is rainbow body. And so forth. If you keep that awareness, that mindfulness, then it doesn't take long, or it's not difficult to get insights. Our problem is that we don't have the mindfulness or the continuity of these awarenesses. We have it for 5 minutes here and there, or at teachings, or at lectures. But that the imprint of seeing things as they inherent exist is so strong that the next moment we completely forget. And we keep on feeding inherent existence. And from time to time we meditate on emptiness in our sadhanas, or when we read a book for 5 minutes, half hour. Then we close the book or close the sadhana, everything inherent existent again. You see, no continuity. So the continuity we have is the continuity of inherent existence, and we continually make it more concrete, more solid, because we feed it, we feed it, we feed it. So even though one practices for a long time, not much progress. Even though intellectually we know many words about emptiness, dependent arising, we can give lectures, we can teach, we can explain it to others. So the sound generality is correct. There might even be some meaning generality there while we talk about it. But then the next moment we leave the room or we chat with somebody, it's gone. So in a day, if you count in 24 hours, you might have half hour or an hour where you feed your path to liberation, and 23 hours where you feed samsara. So which imprint are we feeding most? So actually, to realize emptiness is not difficult. To understand emptiness is not that difficult. And I think most of you here have probably a correct meaning generality of emptiness. You have some kind of more or less correct or close to a correct understanding of emptiness intellectually. But yet, we are not able to sustain it. And that's our challenge. We will only become free by sustaining that awareness of the rainbow-like nature or the dream-like nature of things. There's no other way. You see, either things are inherently existent or they are not. So each time we see things inherently existent, we make a new imprint. So we make it stronger and make it more difficult to get out. Each moment we see things inherently existent, we make samsara more difficult to get out. Each moment you see things as empty of inherent existence, you make it easier to become free, because you feed that imprint, you make that habit, so it becomes easier and easier to see things as empty and dependent arising. So the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Minutes break.